In the dead of night, in the eerie quiet of a forgotten town, strange events began to unfold at an old, abandoned asylum. This wasn't just any ordinary building. Its towering silhouette loomed over the town like a specter, casting long, ominous shadows that seemed to be alive. The asylum, once a refuge for the mentally afflicted, now sat in solemn silence, its history forgotten by time. But not all was quiet. From within its derelict walls echoed chilling sounds, faint whispers, muffled footsteps, doors creaking open and slamming shut. These eerie occurrences didn't go unnoticed. A group of daring teenagers, fueled by a mix of bravado and curiosity, decided to investigate. They were ordinary kids, blissfully unaware of the asylum's dark history. Their world was about to change, their innocence threatened by the uncanny. The teenagers, driven by curiosity, decided to delve into the asylum's dark past. Little did they know they were stepping into a world they could never have imagined. As the teenagers stepped into the asylum, the air grew thick with a sense of dread and the echoes of a haunted past. These brave, or perhaps foolhardy adolescents had decided to delve into the mysteries of a place long forgotten, its dark history lurking in the shadows of its crumbling walls. The asylum's interior was as chilling as the stories that surrounded it, a labyrinth of decayed rooms and long, silent hallways. The once white paint was now a sickly yellow, peeling off the walls to reveal the cold, gray stone beneath. The floorboards creaked with each step, whispering tales of the past, tales of despair and desperation. The air was heavy with the scent of mildew and something else, something eerie that they couldn't quite put their finger on. The silence was almost deafening, the only sounds coming from their own nervous breaths and the soft rustle of old papers scattered here and there, remnants of a time when the asylum was a hub of activity. But it wasn't just the unsettling silence or the decrepit state of the place that sent chills down their spines. There were strange sounds too, distant and muffled, like whispers in the wind, or a door creaking open when there was no one around to push it. Shadows seemed to move in the corners of their eyes, but when they turned to look, there was nothing there. Then, there were the inexplicable occurrences. A sudden drop in temperature that made their breath visible in the air. A flickering light in a room that had been dark moments before. The feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes following their every move. The soft echo of laughter, though no one else was there. Each strange event added another layer of fear, another reason to turn back. But they didn't. They couldn't. The mystery of the asylum had ensnared them, its secrets begging to be revealed. Despite the fear that gripped their hearts, they knew they had to press on. Despite their fear, the teenagers were resolved to uncover the asylum's secrets. As they delved deeper into the asylum, they began to uncover its dark and horrifying history. The asylum, it seemed, was not just a sanctuary for the mentally ill, but a house of grotesque operations and inhumane treatments. The teenagers stumbled upon rooms that harked back to an era of crude psychiatry, where patients were subjected to merciless procedures in the name of curing them. This was a time when lobotomies were casually performed, using rudimentary tools that would make even the most hardened of us cringe. They found old, rusted instruments, their menacing shapes hinting at the horrors they had once inflicted. The terrifying reality of electroconvulsive therapy was also a common practice here, administered without any anesthesia or muscle relaxants. But it wasn't just the cruelty of the treatments that sent chills down their spines. They discovered a plethora of personal items, worn-out shoes, faded photographs, letters never sent. Each item was a silent testament to the lives that once resided within these walls, lives that were abruptly and tragically cut short. In a hidden corner of the asylum, they found a cache of old documents, medical records, staff notes, and most chilling of all, diary entries from the patients themselves. The entries spoke of despair and torment, of being trapped in a world they didn't understand and couldn't escape. They told stories of ghostly apparitions and eerie voices in the night, of shadows that moved on their own and cold spots where there should be none. The teenagers were shaken to their core. The asylum's past was not just a story in a dusty old book, it was real. It was tangible. It was there in the peeling wallpaper, in the creaking floorboards, in the stale air that seemed to hold 1,000 untold stories. The more they discovered, the more the asylum's haunting past became a terrifying reality. Suddenly, the strange events escalated into something far more sinister. The teenagers, once brimming with curiosity, now found themselves ensnared in an encounter with the supernatural, a chilling dance with the unexplainable. Their hearts pounded in their chests as they navigated the long, desolate corridors of the old asylum, their only company the echoes of their own apprehensive footsteps. Each turn of the corner, each creak of the old wooden floorboards, seemed to amplify their dread. But it was not the silence that terrified them, it was the whispers. Whispers that caressed the back of their necks, whispers that seemed to seep from the very walls, whispers that told tales of despair and torment. The teenagers, initially a cohesive group, were now struggling to stay together. The fear that gripped them was a potent force, threatening to scatter them like leaves in the wind. Each of them felt the icy tendrils of panic slithering up their spines, their eyes darting in the dim light, searching for something, anything, that would provide a sense of safety. But safety was a luxury they could no longer afford. Each room they entered was a new chapter in the asylum's dark history, a tableau of horror that painted a vivid picture of the suffering endured within these walls. Apparitions seemed to flicker in and out of existence, spectral remnants of the past, their hollow eyes filled with an eternal sadness. The air seemed to hum with an energy that was almost palpable, a silent symphony of sorrow and dread. One by one, the teenagers began to experience phenomena that defied all logic. Objects levitating in midair, doors slamming shut with an unseen force, shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. The line between the living and the dead blurred, and they found themselves in a world where the rules of reality no longer applied. The teenagers were now trapped in the heart of the asylum, surrounded by its dark and vengeful spirits. Their adventure had turned into a nightmare, a chilling journey into the unknown that they would never forget. In a desperate bid for survival, the teenagers had to confront the asylum's darkest secrets. Our brave young investigators, pushed to their limits, found themselves at the heart of the asylum's twisted labyrinth. The eerie silence was broken only by their rapid breaths and the distant echo of their own heartbeats. The chill of dread crawled under their skin as they faced the unknown, their eyes wide with fear and determination. In the belly of the beast, they came face to face with the tormented spirits that were trapped within the asylum's decaying walls. Wisps of spectral energy, faces twisted in eternal agony, reached out to them. Their mournful cries echoed through the hollow corridors, a chilling testament to the asylum's dark history. Each spirit told a story, a tale of despair and torment. They were mere children once, their lives snuffed out prematurely, their souls bound to the asylum by chains of sorrow and regret. The teenagers listened, their hearts heavy with the weight of the truth. The asylum was not merely a house of horrors, it was a tomb, a prison for the lost souls who had suffered within its walls. The spirits, drawn to the teenagers' empathy and fear, became more aggressive. The temperature dropped, the air thickened, and an otherworldly shriek sent shivers down their spines. They were cornered, the spirits closing in, their ghostly fingers reaching out, desperate for release. With a courage born of desperation, the teenagers stood their ground. They acknowledged the spirits, their suffering, and their stories. They promised to share their tales, to ensure the asylum's dark history would never be forgotten. As they spoke, a strange calm enveloped the room. The spirits, pacified for the moment, retreated, releasing the teenagers from their icy grasp. Their escape was not a mad dash, but a somber walk, each step echoing their promise to the spirits. As they emerged into the dawn, the asylum stood silent and imposing behind them, its secrets laid bare. Yet the horror was not over. In the days that followed, they found themselves haunted by their memories. Dreams of spectral faces and mournful cries disrupted their sleep. They saw the spirits in every shadow, heard their cries in every silence. The asylum had left its mark on them, a chilling reminder of the night they had survived. They fulfilled their promise, sharing the asylum's dark history with the world. They spoke of the spirits, their stories, and their suffering. They raised awareness, ignited discussions, and sparked investigations. The asylum's dark past was brought to light, its secrets exposed. The teenagers had survived the night, but they had also sparked a change, a hope for the spirits that still lingered within the asylum's walls. Surviving the night, the teenagers left the asylum, but they would forever carry the haunting memories of its dark past. Y'all, we're wrapping up here, but don't you go anywhere just yet. Show some love, hit that like button. Fancy more content like this? Go on, subscribe and let that bell icon ring so you won't miss a beat. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sharing is caring. Until next time, stay tuned.